pounds plus their hand tools, and it's hot. It is not a pleasant afternoon to be fighting these fires. A little look, if you like, there at some of the tools being used by these crews here this afternoon. Guys?
Wow, you just applaud them and their efforts, and that is a tough task. There's no way in the world I'd be able to carry around 40 pounds on my back and still be walking up steep terrain and trying to put out hot spots. There's just no way.
Well, that's 40 pounds, Chris, but that's 40 pounds of burden that might save your life.
Yeah.
So
that's for darn sure. Maybe gives us all a little bit of appreciation again of what they're doing. Thanks for giving us the time to show you that.
All right.
Absolutely. Well, we can see now. It looks like another shot where you see the flames coming down this mountainside, coming pretty close to this home here. Guys, do we know exactly where this shot is?
We do. It's actually in that area above Sierra Madre Avenue that we were talking about in the neighborhood. I believe that it's Hillcrest or Highcrest, actually, is the end of that street right there. But you can see lots of firefighters right there. A little bit of it is perspective. We're looking at it from quite a distance away, and you can see that hilltop, and then just a ton of firefighters in that on that street. So again, because the winds have died down and because the smoke is starting to blow back onto areas that have already burned, it's making a more orderly march down toward these homes. Earlier today we saw erratic fire behavior, very quick moving fire, very difficult for responding units to come in and react to where the fire was moving. At this point, firefighters in these neighborhoods now sort of welcome that the fire is burning down toward the home so they can put it out right when it gets there, like a backfire, for instance, except they didn't set this. So we can tell you that the smoke plume now has moved all the way out to sea. Lots of smoke. So we're going to continue to watch this. Any change in the wind right now, and this would be another terrible situation for these homeowners. But for now, it looks like lots of firefighters where they need to be right now. An aerial firefight going on in the San Gabriel Canyon right now. Still a lot of tankers inbound, helicopters up in the wildland part of this fire. And down here in the neighborhoods, firemen, strike team ready to go. And they are ready to put these fires out as they reach each one of these backyards.
Larry, let me ask you, some pretty substantial homes up there.
Yeah,
a lot of I should actually call mansions or estates. Mm-hmm. For the most part, do most of those homes have a pretty good fire break around them?
You know, it's interesting. There are beautiful homes up here. There's also some homes that, some neighborhoods where you've got very modest homes as well, so sort of a mixture. As you move up into these hillside communities with these view homes, some of them have very good brush clearance, but some of the homes we've noticed that are down in the canyons that are built sort of below the ridgeline, it looks like the brush clearance might have been a factor on these homes as well, because you could see a lot of vegetation, a lot of overgrowth. But for the most part, most of these homes have very, very good at least 100, in a lot of cases it's 200 feet of brush clearance, which is of course a requirement for those people that live up here in the in these neighborhoods that are right up against the hills. But still, another good example there. You can see that those fires just sort of march down the hill, and as we move back and follow the fire line down, another area has just popped up here, and it's very, very difficult to tell where the fire is going to pop up next, and that's why these guys are all ready to go and get in there and knock these flames down.
Mm-hmm. Any idea what sort of tank we're looking at right there by those flames?
Those are water tanks. There's several water tanks here. There's lots of new developments that looks like they've cleared some paths ready to build new homes up here. And that's a little bit of a relief for firefighters. So as we pull to a little wider shot, you'll see an entire neighborhood that was leveled there and it was cleared to build homes. And so that's a huge fire break for firefighters. In fact, we saw some helicopters landing down there earlier. So you can see plenty of clearance there, but then as we tilt up and you move further to the east toward Valley Center Avenue and Grand Avenue, when you're in this Glendora, if you're familiar with the area, lots of homes built up into the mountains there, and unfortunately that's the area where a home was lost earlier, and you can see still plenty of smoke in there. It's just difficult to see because it's all laying down, but lots of fingers of fire and smoke moving into those neighborhoods as well.
And also during that news conference, we learned probably the biggest news that this was a fire that was apparently, whether it was by accident or whatever, there were 3 people up there in the foothills, a 22-year-old man by the name of Clifford Henry Jr., 21-year-old Jonathan Gerald, and Stephen Aguirre. Apparently they had started a campfire. Were throwing paper in. It got out of control. A neighbor saw 2 men walking away from the fire, thought it was suspicious, called police. They were detained, as well as the 3rd man, Stephen Aguirre. They are all right now sitting in the Glendora City Jail. They've all been charged with recklessly starting a fire, and all 3, their bail has been set at $20,000. We understand they are cooperating with authorities. So at least we do know the origin of the fire. So that part of this, is the legal issues will certainly be taken care of as firefighters continue to battle this fire. Again, it started about 5:50 this morning. The winds have died down. The fire basically moving to the west and a little bit to the north, where there is a lot of fuel. And again, as the chief police pointed out, they have not had a major fire in the Glendora foothills since 1968. So other than brush clearance and the usual maintenance, there is a lot of fuel up there.
Yeah. The good news, though, we heard just a short time ago from the chief that parts of this fire, they're laying down and the wind's laying down. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that will continue. But he said this has been erratic, fighting this fire, and the fear is that these winds will kick up and then spark up some of those embers that are still hot and burning out there and could easily ignite back up into a big fire.